I don't know about you, but I really enjoy seeing unique projects that other people are working on. I kind of hope that's part of the reason why you come to my channel. So when I caught wind of a very similar truck to mine, in fact, the one that inspired us to build this one, going through a major update, I just had to show you. So over the last couple of days, I have taken a 900-kilometer round trip to see this, and I think you're going to be as impressed as I was. Hey, thanks for tuning in and welcome back to the shop, but you might not recognize this shop. Now, something you might recognize is this truck. That's right, this is the 2012 Fuso FG belonging to Tony that you may have seen in the Down to Mob video a few years back. Now, while this magnificent beast might look like a Fuso, it's got some changes coming to it. Tony, you want to give us a run through of what's going on here?
Yeah, so just a little history on the vehicle. So this truck was built back end of 2019. So I had the total composite box I actually designed, and they manufactured all this for me. And then a company out in BC that's a professional truck building company actually built all the subframe and the chassis and mounted the box to it. They typically build fire engines, emergency response vehicles, that kind of thing. So I got a fully engineered, delivered body mounted on a truck to me, which then I completely outfitted with all the overlanding gear inside for world travel. So that's pretty much where the truck has been since 2019, and we've traveled extensively throughout the US and Canada in this vehicle. But we now really want to take the truck on a different journey to the next level, and that's going to be next year, taking this down the Pan American Highway all the way to Ushuaia in Argentina, inspired by many other YouTubers like Toyota World Runners and a few other people that folks that are into this stuff would have heard of. Really want to follow in their footsteps, but take our own truck down. But in order to do that, felt that it needed some upgrades.
So Tony, what can you tell us about the outside of the truck?
Yeah, so the outside, the cab is all standard Fuso, but with a lot of additions which came from Fuso Off-Road, which imports directly from Australia. So the bumper, the bush bars and the rack were all from those guys, and that allowed us to actually mount the ditch light and front light bar, which is essential for off-road travel. Not that we like to travel at night, but anyone knows that's traveled off-road, plans generally go sideways and timelines are extended, and you do end up in the dark sometimes, so the more lighting you've got, the better. This has also got a winch box where we're going to be dropping in a 17,500 pound winch for a self-recovery, but inevitably ends up spending most of the time digging other people out of problems. Yeah. New wheels and tyres, Toyo 83 open countries with Method race wheels on here, kindly supplied by Black Hole Supply Company, which is a local here in Godrich. They hooked us up with the wheels and tyres, which are all rated for this vehicle. And then as we come around the outside, so total composites box. So we've got plus 30, minus 30. You can camp in this thing, no drama. It stays cool in the summer and warm in the winter. Then we have a diesel heater that pulls from one of the diesel tanks. We're actually adding a second diesel tank on the other side for longer range, especially in South America, because if anyone knows that's traveled that neck of the woods, you can turn up at a gas station, but it doesn't necessarily mean that diesel is actually there. So this kind of designs out that issue. We've got then our external power port. Really doesn't get used because we've got 690 watts of solar on the roof, but should we need to plug in for whatever reason, we have the ability to. So moving on down the side of the vehicle, we have external shower, hot and cold running water from a product made from a company called Bullfinch, which is a European product. Really highly recommend these. You see a lot of overland vehicles with these on now. Back when we installed it in 2019, we were about it for using that product. We got our freshwater fill here, and our freshwater fill goes through a series of filters into a 70-gallon water tank in the back. Excuse the mess in the back here. We are in the middle of a renovation build, so it's full of tools and spare parts and what have you. Loads of storage, pass-through storage, again, heated, insulated, plus this is all lit as well. What we generally keep in the back here are a couple of the folding kayaks, the Oraku kayaks, so that when we're out and about, we're able to get out on the water as well. super lightweight, and they just slide in here nicely. And we come around to the back of the vehicle. There's some renovations going on the back here. We're going to be losing the diesel tank, losing the gas tank. We no longer use that. Spare wheel mount. And then there's going to be a couple of lockers here being supplied by a company out in BC that we're going to be putting on there. And then we'll come around to this side again, pass-through storage, just a straight shot to the other door on the other side. This folds down. It's an outdoor cook table for food prep for when you're barbecuing. We have the ARB 8-foot awning with built-in LED lighting, which comes out for cover in the rain and sunshade and what have you. We do currently have a 24-volt zero breeze air conditioning unit in the bedroom space. It's really not enough to cool down the whole space, so we're actually going to be removing, and the mini split's going to take over the role of air conditioning from that.
So we'll just get a real quick tour of the interior from Tony. There is a full video that I'll link in the description if you want to see the full interior tour, but just a quick overview here. So what do we got in here, Tony?
Yeah, so the inside I wanted to keep very Euro feel. I really like that kind of clean lines, easy wipe down surfaces. I didn't want to use wood in here. So all of the material used for the inside of the walls and everything is a product called alu board, which is actually a composite used in the sign making industry. Super light, very strong, but really just keeps the weight down, and there's no moisture being retained within the truck, which helps. So we've got the pass-through. The pass-through was engineered again by ITB. It's all weather sealed, like triple weather sealed, and articulates because the back moves independent of the front when we're crawling off-road. We've got the double pane windows from Arctic Turn. Can't say enough good things about this company. Based in Prescott, Arizona. Dave and his wife run the company. Awesome product. If you're building a rig, put these windows in. They're double pane. You get no condensation, minimal heat loss, plus you've got all of the blackout blinds and the bug nets all built in. Max air fan at the front, although we are just about to upgrade to a mini split, which is going to sit in here for some additional air conditioning, especially when we're down in South America, where humidity and heat are an issue, and we do travel with a pet. We then have the fold-out table here, fold-out marine table for dining, which can also be pushed right through the way into the pass-through, and then this converted down to a bed. We have the diesel controls here, which operate all of the heating, which is ducted not only all around the cabin space, but also all of the heating lockers. All the lockers in the back are heated, so nothing freezes within that space. Underneath this dinette is the power plant, so we've got 4 Battleborn lithium batteries about to be upgraded to 6, given us 600 amp hours. We've got 690 watts of solar on the roof, and the whole system is run by Victron equipment, so the 3000 watt inverter, the Orion DC to DC charger, the MPPT, all talks to each other and is all run simply from your cell phone. Again, can't say enough good things if you're thinking of putting a solar system in. As far as I'm concerned, Victron is second to none. And then we move into the kitchen space. We cook with induction because we have abundance of power. We've then got the double isotherm fridge, and in the back storage locker we actually carry an Engel chest freezer for longer trips, for carrying additional supplies. We've got the sink. This drinking water tap also has UV filter. The filtering is actually on the input, so we have a 5 micron, a 10 micron, and then a carbon filter, so we don't get any sediment in the tank, so we can literally pull from any water source. And then we have our drinking water through the UV, and then our general water through here. And the bed is a standard queen. Sleep is very important to us, and this is super comfortable. And then underneath we have additional storage, which is all on gas struts, so easy for storing shoes and gear under there. And then across the back here, these 2 panels slide, and we've got full shelving and full hanging space for closets inside. And then we have an electric opening hatch with lighting up at the top there, again with blackout blinds, all double pane, another Arctic Turn product. And that's pretty much the interior of this area. Then we move into this space here, which is the bathroom. It's a walk-through bathroom. You wouldn't know you're in a bathroom. The toilet here, which is a composting toilet, Nature's Head, slides out for use. We then have the shower head here. It's a false teak floor which goes through to a stainless shower pan, which drains into a 40-gallon waste tank underneath for grey water only. And then this slides across and becomes basically a wet room, and allows you to fully shower down in here, We've also got the bug screen on the door here, so you can shower with a view if you wish. You happen to be parked out in the middle of nowhere. And that's the bathroom space, so no wasted space. You're literally walking through the mudroom when you enter the vehicle, and you're able to take off wet clothes, hang them up to drip dry through the shower pan. Shower, washroom is all in this space without actually impeding on the living space of the vehicle.
I must say it's a brilliant design, and for anybody who's watching my build, this is where I stole my idea from.
You may be wondering, with such an amazing build, how could you want more? Well, there are some needs, and true to its badge on the front, this truck is about to transform.
So in comes the Fuso 2.0 upgrade. Anyone that knows these trucks also knows that they're quite complicated to work on.
So what's the solution to this?
The solution to this is North Americanize it, essentially.
And exactly how do you North Americanize a Mitsubishi Fuso? Let's get this cab up to get a better look. Tony, what are you up to?
We basically replaced the four-cylinder Fuso engine that was in here with the 6.6 litre Duramax, and really the brains behind the operation on this side of things is my best friend here in Canada, Dave. I'd like to introduce you to him, and he's been working on Duramax since Duramax existed, so knows these things like the back of his hand. But I'll hand over to Dave to go into exactly what it is that we're doing here.
Yeah, like Tony says, it's a 6.6 liter Duramax, an LGH engine out of a van, a 6L90E 6-speed automatic transmission, and a new process NP241 XHD transfer case. And it'll be mated to Dana 60 Super 60 axles front and rear.
A little bit more heavy duty.
A little bit more.
Yeah.
Robust. You can buy parts everywhere for them.
And all of that is being custom engineered here, and that's kind of where we're at with the truck right now.
And how hard was it to shoehorn that in there?
It actually fits surprisingly well.
Yeah.
You know, the Duramax is only 2 inches longer than the 4-cylinder Fuso engine that came out. Rads and everything, as you see, are yet to be installed, but
It is
be
worth,
very
for sure worth mentioning, this is still a in-process
Yeah.
project, but
couple weeks left.
decent amount of, you can see it's gonna work, which is pretty incredible. For people out there who are struggling with the 4P10 and all the codes and issues that come up with it, there's a new option,
Absolutely.
and this is it.
Your eyes are not fooling you. That is a turbo diesel V8 Duramax in place of the 4-cylinder 4P10. If anything is going to wake the Fuso up, this is it. The way these components fit in here provide a much more compact package and provide significantly more ground clearance in the center of the truck. The axles are pulled from a Ford F550, which allows for equal front and rear track width and really opens up the options for wheel and tire choice, along with a host of other options such as better steering dampers, off-the-shelf driveline components, and the ability to pick up parts at any local auto parts shop. This is a game changer. Tony is retaining his previous installation of the Fuso off-road suspension setup with new upgraded external reservoir on the front and jumbo on the rear, and is also adding a rear airbag setup with auto leveling. And one more perk of the new driveline is the low-range gear in the transfer case, a huge upgrade over the original transfer case with the ability to shift in and out of four-wheel drive on the fly. Now the next question. After the circuit of Canada and the US adventure travel is completed, how are you going to start off on your journey south?
So we've been mainland Mexico flying as tourists, but we've never actually driven there. So we're
Right.
going to be driving this down the Baja Peninsula and then crossing over on the ferry at La Paz to mainland Mexico to take this back to some beautiful places in Mexico that we love, San Miguel de Allende. Anyone that knows that city, it's beautiful. It's like being in Europe. And then just carry on down and border hop all the way down. We're going to take a couple of diversions on the trip. So head to Belize and Brazil along the way, which are off the beaten track.
Yeah.
You kind of stage left off the Pan American. But while you're going that far, you may as well see everything.
That's right, absolutely.
And this is going to be the vehicle that takes us there in comfort, with reliability, and everything that we need on board to function. We're also permanently installing Gen 3 Starlink on the roof. We have Starlink right now that we manually set up and take down every time,
Right.
but the new in-motion roam package that they do means that now we can permanently mount a separate unit to the roof and actually have high-speed internet the whole time that we're driving, which
Right.
is going to be a game changer.
And that's key for you because you're able to work from here.
100%. This is my mobile studio, my mobile office, and I'm able to work on the road anywhere. And with the advent of Starlink and high-speed internet, for the last few years we've been working remotely a lot, and it just works.
That's awesome.
And it's an amazing system that's really opened up the world to digital nomads to
Yeah.
be able to work effectively without having to cell phone signal hop, which anyone who's done that is increasingly frustrating, because inevitably the places you want to stay
Don't have
you
the
can't
signal.
stay
Yeah,
because there's
exactly.
no signal.
Exactly. Well, I think this is an amazing project you've got going here. Honestly, I thought it was amazing before you even started this, so this is amazing 2.0, and really appreciate you taking the time to show us. This is where things are going. If you've got a Fuso and you think you're stuck, consider this. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.